My life has been a roller coaster of highs and lows, enchantment, fascination, and enlightenment, with all kinds of peril. Rachel is an amazing girl of tender heart and caring mind. She'll set the benchmark for all those who wish to be beautiful. Everyone should look as different as they want to, of course. The astral plane is somewhere all spirits like to hang out before coming to the earth plane. I was fully conscious. That's why I remember my experience. I accepted time as it unfurled beneath me. It was a natural thing to me. I was awake. My elite these days are a very large number of men and women with no subconscious. They're all miracle workers. The building, built especially for me, will be in New York, Central Park. The world will be awake, and I am the world. I will feel every square inch as though it is my mind, because it is. I will look after everyone, and I soon develop, over the years. To make the world a better place, you have to have a good moral compass, a lot of money, and you need to be intellectually curious to the extreme. I've been to 14 colleges, 4 of them universities. My philosophy is stay in people's minds and you live forever. I'm going to live forever anyway. However, I can't be a meaningless shell of a man. I must strive for character. Guardian angels come with daggers in their smiles. They are not callous, they just don't care. That is why I call them guardian demons. They have the goal to call themselves God. It has been a struggle to survive for many people. Soon nobody will just survive, they will thrive. Soon I will be capable of anything imaginable that is possible, and many things that aren't imaginable. I move about from place to place, find out later its purpose. The pattern is not there for me, it's there for others. They are lost in wonderment. Lately I have engineered some of the pattern. My first memory was from when I was 40 days old, of my dad putting on a Union Jack on a top hat made of cardboard. I must have been in a high chair. It was just before the Queen's Silver Jubilee, which I can also remember. All spirits are energy, but my spirit is frozen energy in the form of matter. E equals mc squared, meaning energy is equal to mass times the square of the constant of the speed of light. Although I am in human form, my mind is very big and radically different from yours. The grand unified field theory is something that didn't exist as of yet. People have been pondering on it since Einstein, who died in 1955, in an attempt to unify the science of the small quantum theory and the large general relativity. They don't compete, and they should. But I can't explain now, as I am still in a limited state of consciousness. Technological asymptote is where technology reaches the ceiling and the cave levels. Most people don't know, but it's only a few years away. Life will never be boring. This is not life what we have now. This is as close to hell as you get, and no one is going downstairs at the end of time. The bad will also go to heaven, though they will have few friends. The worst are only me. I can be everywhere at once. The bad had no choice. Choice is a myth. They were just unfortunate. My melding will be everything to most people, although you can still have hanky-panky if you want. Self-actualization is where an individual is risen to the height of comfort and are content with everything in their lives. We will all self-actualize at once at the end of time. The compassion for evildoers is that if you are treated like a bag of excrement, you become a bag of excrement. It's the same sort of thing if you have certain genetic predispositions. The Cretans had a genetic predisposition for their violent nature. That's what men with two Y chromosomes tend to be. It's not an excuse, but a reason. It's not a natural thing to die. This is not life. I'm here to help you. Forget about death. No one dies. They only move on to other bodies. Forget about being reborn. It's all one life, in multiple bodies. Feel the universe is eternal. Go far enough in the past, and you end up in the future, and vice versa. Feel that space may well be finite, but without an edge. If you travel far enough, you end up back where you started. It doesn't make sense, neither does quantum physics. I assume that human intelligence is based on assumptions. You used to know the world was flat. We made an assumption. I don't know if the Big Bang happened, and if it did, maybe it was just a phase. Maybe no more times you go through the eternal loop of time. Maybe it only happened once. Anyway, there are no other advanced aliens. Advanced ETs are all human wherever you go. I don't know for certain, but they probably don't speak English. They seeded this planet 1,000 years ago with humans and fossil evidence. The elites have made you suffer so that you can understand the difference between love and hate and become wise so you can have something to live for when we really start living. I've had many problems in life. I don't need to talk about them, I just want you to know that I can empathise with many of you. The world is healed. People will not think such miracles possible. There will be a mixture of misbelief and amazement. When it happens, it will only take seconds. I've spent years observing the media. It will be child's play for me to orchestrate it. Don't feel too intimidated by me. When the newspapers arrive at the table, the cards will be stacked in my favour. I know because I arranged them so. They'll stay and learn a lesson from the master. The cards are letters. The comments on YouTube. The books I wrote. And these YouTube videos. For people to look any different, it will be on the last day of time. I don't mean to be offensive, but some of you tell the occasional port by. I will teleport to prison on the last day to give hope to all those incarcerated. I understand many of you will be fearful. It's natural to be scared of change. My grandfather's downfall may have been ironically his luck. He fell off his bike before going to war and would likely have been killed in the war. Backwards time travel at the age of 5 was like being lost in a child's book. I still don't believe in backwards time travel, but it was more fathomable than what happened at the age of 6 a year later. Teleportation from one lady's back garden to the shops around where I used to live. My memory has become so good, largely through self-coaching, an obsession with dates, and being highly strung. I've had thousands of fights. I've stood up for people, felt chivalrous and gallant, but at the same time found violence barbaric. Kissing hundreds of people in Birkenhead is like constant flattery. It was a lot of fun. Claire Gavasoni is a French diplomat. She will pacify the world against violence on every level. She'll make sure the world is fed, watered, clothed, sheltered, and much more besides. I've written 48 lines of philosophy. Some examples are: some people who don't know much claim to know a lot, whilst others who know far more claim to know far less. Reach for the skies and they will come to meet you. Colour, race and gender all matter, for they make life interesting, but they are not important because they do not affect the value of a person. The climate had little to do with human influences, and soon the issue will be a non-issue, and the world is healed. Some people believe the media. It exacerbates the facts to sell more newspapers. The world is, on the contrary, a more civilized place than ever. A lot of people think that AI can't become conscious. They think that substrate, what we're made of, matters, and they don't even know what consciousness is. When I become famous, my whole life will become famous. Right now we are in the calm before the storm, but when it rains, it shall rain love. You will know the strength of my will, and the power of my breath shall move mountains. Friends are a mixture of sorts, dominators, swats, and jokers. I made examples of the bullies when I stood up to them in school, but didn't have a gang, so couldn't influence the whole school, and left due to stress. Lodge was an intensive rehabilitation unit annexed to the county of Chester. It was a nice break from the turmoil in school. Camping was a lot of fun and a memorable excursion that we went on from time to time in the hospital. At the end of time, you'll experience a very different way of living. All worries will be gone, no work, and you won't have the need to sleep. Life will be exciting and fun. The content will be changed. Craig Oversony, my pathway agent in France, who's a diplomat, has had a less violent life. It should be more appropriate for you to model yourselves on. If the elite are God, then I am God's boss. If Jesus Christ was the Lord of the dance, I would be the host of the party. We shall all live eternally. Death is something of a myth. There shall be no death. Even when people so-called pass away, they go to new bodies. An assumption of mine that the most hypocritical thing you can do is to criticize hypocrisy. I believe in hardly anything, although I do believe in love. I improved my memory with self-help tapes and books and implementing those techniques. After the accident, when I could not talk or walk, I did not know what had happened at first and was oblivious to the accident. I seriously did not expect to walk again. I thought my accident was suicide, but it was actually caused by my human elite to substantiate a change in brain chemistry. It was in their minds my best interest. This world is looked after, so to speak, by my guardian angels. The guys in charge can tolerate a few thousand deaths, but not millions these days. Now that I'm here to do my job, this pain and suffering will cease as soon as I'm famous. Religion is not necessary, but it has been thought essential to cause chaos, inflict pain and suffering by the elite. It is counterproductive because it causes much suffering. There are millions of extraterrestrial guys just waiting to bounce down and see you guys. Claire is my son. She used to be a man 2,000 years ago. Then there's lovely Romans hanging on the cross. I'm very excited about the prospect of life on Kepler 22b, an extrasolar planet located about 128 light years away from Earth. The James Webb Space Telescope made this exciting discovery, and there is a high likelihood of life. Spectroscopy has revealed the presence of certain gases in the atmosphere of this planet, not thought to be naturally occurring in nature. When I was known as the Silent Prophet, I wrote to newspapers, magazines, politicians, diplomats, teachers, royalties, psychic societies, friends, and the Pope.